because you are influencing a lot of women. So what would you say to young ladies like you, uh, who are going through these hard times?
Yeah.
Should they all keep it in? And this is the result. The result is sometimes suicides, drug overdose, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah.
what would you encourage them to do to find their inner strength? Right now, they're being misled,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry if you might feel a little bit different, but you hear as a woman, you need to be a bitch. You need to be
Mhm.
this. You need to show your strength. And it's putting a lot of pressure on people.
Yeah.
And you need to don't let anybody open the door for you. You can open your own door. I mean, there's a lot of confusion for young women out there today who I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for the women in my life, my sisters, my mother, people like you. And I've been in the industry for 40 something years, surrounded by women who have
Mhm.
taught me and empowered me. If it wasn't for them, and you do look back, women were mistreated, were misguided, but these young girls are being misguided today. How could,
Mhm.
please give them a message of how they can wake themselves up and know that they have value and they matter and what they say matters and no matter what they've been through, because I think if you keep it in,
Yeah.
it's even worse. So
Yeah.
give it
Yeah.
to them. I want you to awaken these young ladies, and because I see so much potential in a lot of them, but they cave into today's society, and after 2020, it's gotten worse. Let's
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but teach me.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you say that as women and men, of course, that are struggling with identity. We have an identity crisis, right? Of just full fledging, really saying, okay, this is who God made me to be. And so, like, looking back at that moment, I wasn't accepting that God was making me who I was at that moment. I wanted to be something else. And so I had, like, if you will, like envy and jealousy or comparison disease of like, oh gosh, I'm not as good as this person. And look at, she's got all kinds of boyfriends and blah, 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 right? I was spewing that over my life. And it wasn't until the moment of just believing in myself of, hey, I was made the way I was supposed to be made. With all my flaws, everything that I have, I'm supposed to be made this way. And it's funny you said that it was the women in your life that spoke into you. And my mom, incredible woman, always taught me, Tina, God is love. Like, just love people. Like, she taught me love, right? But my dad, he believed in me. I was so blessed. And because he would be always like, oh, you can do anything you put your mind to, you can do anything. And so, but there was a moment in time of like, no, I can't, Dad. Like, you didn't trust your parents, like whatever they say, so you need
Yeah.
people. And I look back, and it was really men in my life that spoke into me, Giulio. It was men. And, I look back at my basketball coach. He believed in me before I believed in myself. I look at different bosses that I had. Was I mistreated sometimes? Yes. I remember my boss's son, right? He tried to come after me in a sexual way. I stopped him immediately. And I attribute that to my dad of like, hey, no, like, this is not who I am. Like, you step away from me. And I told his dad what happened, and I stayed working. He never did anything again, to me. But I love to be able to work with women who really struggle with low self-esteem, women and men. Because in this industry, we've got women and men. We know this. We have many people that struggle with low self esteem. Like, where do you see the biggest shift that you can make right now? For me, Giulio, it was spiritual and physical. It was taking care of my health, right? Working out. That made such a big difference for me. This year I just hired a personal trainer. You'll appreciate that. So my guns are getting bigger, right? And I
You've
had to do
always
that.
been in top shape, so I don't care what anybody says. Every time I look at you, I'm like, damn, I got to get to the gym.
You're so funny. Yeah, and it's like, okay, what is it like? What are those non-negotiables that build up your confidence, right? And so for me, it was the gym, right? Personal trainer, health, and spiritual. So I make sure every single morning when I wake up, that's my focus, spiritually and physically, Julia. My first 2 to 3 hours now. There was a season where I could only do it for 20 minutes because I get it. You're busy, right? Doing things. Just to give what you can. If it's 10 minutes, give 10. Once you start to build that momentum and you start to realize, wow, this is doing something for my confidence. I'm feeling a little bit more on top of the world, my happiness, my joy, right? Joy gives confidence.